Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Panther, Geschützwagen Panther, the Tier 7 German SPG. It's located on the defending spawn of Steps Assault, and it's under the command of talon1958 of OLIMP. Well, that was a mouthful to get out, wasn't it?
Time to roll out.
Okay, game on. This is Talon's response to Angelina's submission. He knows that she's done well, that she's scored bigger than him, and that she's in the lead, so he's now got to come back with a better result in order to snatch the lead back from Angelina. Now, as this is the assault, they'll be coming from two different directions. Really, traditionally, they come along the south end and also along the northern route, which comes down the west side of the map. He's looking for a target, and he's found one, a T-43-3. Rounds out. Just missed him. Tier 8 game with Tier 7 tanks, which means he's bottom tier, and every Tier 8 that he actually hits, he'll get 10% extra on the XP. Now, he's doing the right thing for the moment. Keep plenty of his teammates between him and the enemy, and he's certainly doing that. You can see the T-34-3 has actually moved down into the gully, but he might get a chance to hit him. Rounds out. Direct hit. Right up the rear of the vehicle. The guy turned round, stopped for a moment, thinking he was safe behind that rock, but no, didn't take into account that he might get hit by Arty, and in fact he has gone down, which means that Talon not only picked up the actual damage, he got some stun assist as well. Okay, another enemy's been spotted, a T-20. Now, it is only a Tier 7 medium, but it does have relatively thin armor. Round south. Another direct hit, and he goes down straight away. So, yes, in fact, he got the kill on that one. So it looks like that T-20 probably got hit by somebody else just before Talon's shell actually hit the target. Because he actually set fire to him? No, he was the one who hit him. And he actually penetrated him and set him alight. His next shell hits the 56 TP for 242. But that's a non-penetrating shot. Now, the alpha on this Arty is 600 with 39mm pen, 7.2 meters on the burst radius, between 10 and 18 seconds of stun. So that shell must have hit the T-20 directly on the engine deck. And because it was rather thin, it went through, started a fire, and then killed the T-20 outright. Okay, he's trying to look around for another target. Again, as I may have mentioned in the previous video with Angelina, you look for a full reticle. If there's a target or rock in the way, you have to look at how much of the reticule is occluded to tell you if it's a good target, a viable target, or is the shell actually going to hit the rock. The GW Panther, the Arty that was never built, they did design it, they showed it to Hitler and he approved it, but it was the generals who actually wanted more German Panther tanks, and they decided instead that instead of using the hulls for artillery and for SPGs, they would actually go ahead and turn them into tanks, and so that's what got prioritized. Bit of a pity really, because it might have been actually quite an interesting Arty to use. Unlike the other Artys, it has a turret, which means that it can turn the turret around. Oh, that was a beautiful shot. Right near the engine bay as well. He timed that one to catch the tank as he pulled back through the field of fire. But the shell actually arrived just as he stopped, and it hit the engine deck as well. Okay, there is a T-20 behind that rock as well. This time round, he hits the front end of the vehicle, and it's tracked him, and he goes down, so he gets the rest of that one as stun assist as well. 891 of stun assist off that T-20. So he did actual damage off the first one he hit, and then he got stun assist off the second one he hit. Okay, 56 TP. Now you can see the reticule dialing in. It's only got a bit of the reticule showing above the ridgeline there. Unfortunately, it did hit the rock face instead. The trajectory is fairly flat, so you have to take that into account. If the trajectory is actually going to be too short or too low, especially on maps like mines, if you're firing at tanks on mines, that can be a bit of a problem. Okay, we've got a Shrek. I don't think he needed enough. He didn't give it enough lead there. That target was a long way away, so he needed a little lead to actually adjust for it. He's now got something obstructing his field of fire. He just checked what it was and found out it was a rock. Now that means that as he moves further around to the right, that rock is still there. And the rock is coming in this direction, which is not so good. But he has been taken out by Yuda's 14-5. Okay, looking at this one there, for a moment we saw that he had only a partial amount of the reticule occluded, but he thinks there's a target there on that spot. I think he's looking for the enemy Arty, who may be behind the railway line. His concentration skills working, so is his communications expert. There's the communications expert one. There's the concentration. Now for a second there he thought that he found it, but he's got a red line. But notice how again the rescue only partially above the ridge line, which means that there was less chance that he was going to hit the target. You see, the reticule actually shows you technically where 50% of the shots should fall outside the reticule, inside the reticule, and so you want the reticule as tight as you can so that more chance that the shell's going to actually hit the target. But when half of the reticule is occluded, there's a fairly good chance that the shell's going to hit the ground at the ridgeline instead of the target, which is beyond it. Now he's guessing that the Shrek might be in that bush. It's more likely the Shrek would knock that tree down just to the right of the aim point. But he's not knocked it down, so I'm wondering if he's still there. That rock's going to be in the way. He might try to hit the 252U. Oh, now the IKV-90B has turned up. Now, 90Bs don't have much in the way of armor, so they make very good targets. And he's much further away, which means we're going to get a partial reticule, but it might be big enough for him to get a direct hit. Okay, it's partial reticule. Got it near. And we're into the last 2 minutes. Now he's just noticed there's a Shrek there. Oh, he took a hit from the Shrek. And that Shrek doesn't like him because he obviously took hits when he got stunned the last time. Now the hit was only for 193. It was an HE shell, but it must have hit the front of the vehicle. Back, let's see. We can't see the impact point at all. The Shrek is close to the cap area and he got wiped out. So the question now is who's next, because we're one down on the enemy, but they've got to get to the cap in the next minute and 16 seconds or kill all of the players on our team. And I don't think they're going to do that. It's almost like we're forming a protective layer. Even our M12 has moved around the corner to try and stop the CS63. Unfortunately, the M12 gets wiped out. We did get spotted there. Ah!
We're dead for it. Everyone
It was the 252U who saw us from the left. Yes, he could see us. Only just, but he could see from the north. So now we're down to just 3 players, but they've got to try and cap out or kill all of our team within that last 30 seconds of the game. And it looks to me like it's looking like they might be able to do it. They've got to kill the Shure Mill and the VK16801P. Now down to minimal hit points, but there's only 12 seconds left in the game. The IKV-90B's just been killed by the Shure Mill, so he's on reload. We pull the camera around to see what's going on. They're hitting the Shure Mill really hard, but the time's run out and they've won the game. Well, I think you could say that the enemy fluffed that one up because they had every opportunity to try and win that game. Towards the end, it was getting that there was only 2 enemy tanks, or 2 of our team left, the Shure Mill and the VK. And if the other team members had actually flooded over the land to get to them as quickly as possible, they might have been able to take them out, but they didn't. And as a result, they stayed alive, still alive at the end of the game, and they hadn't capped out. That was a second-class tanker for talon1958 of OLIMP in the GW Panther. He managed to get an arsonist because he set light to the T20 after he gave it a penetrating shot and burned him up. He also got a bruised medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7. And his win rate from that game was 2,218, which is very good indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in that game actually went to the 56 TP on the enemy team, who got 3,400 hit points. Second highest went to the Progetto 46 with 3,101. And the third highest damage, well, that went to the VK16801P on our team, who actually managed to get a Spartan and Steel Wall and 2,510 hit points of damage. When it came to Talon, we can see he got 1,657. He was beaten by, so look, 5 members of the enemy team and 3 members of his own team, puts him in 9th place when it comes to damage. When it comes to kills, though, we can see the top scorers were the Progetto 46, the CS53, both had 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the 56 TP and the Object 252U on the enemy team. That's the guy who killed Talon. And also to the Units 14-5 and the Shure Mill on our team. And we can see Talon only got the 1 kill. But when it came to base XP, he's a lot closer to the top because the top scorer was the VK16801P with 915, followed by the T20 getting 838. And then we've got Talon in 3rd place with 769. He fired 15 rounds because, of course, it's got a faster reload than the M53, M55. He got 5 direct hits in and 1 penetrating shot in that game. Penetrating shot was the T20. 7 splashes as well. 1,657, all of it of more than 300 meters. Received 2 hits from the enemy. 1 penetrating, 1 hit by way of splash. The splash shot was actually from the CS53. Was it? No, it was the Shrek who actually fired at him. I fired an HE round, which again, it's another thing that you shouldn't do. You should always fire AP at an Arty, because if you fire HE, chances are it might not penetrate if you hit the right spot. Now, yes, people might accuse me of actually helping the tanks to kill the Arty, but then there are some tanks, there's some Arty, you should fire HE at. It's a question of knowing which one is which. And in this case, they got the wrong one. And of course, then the shell didn't penetrate. It didn't get a full roll. And therefore, he did not get taken out. And it was the Object 252U who got the penetrating shot because he was firing standard armor piercing. And that went through. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged. 1 was destroyed. So he was just 1 off getting a Confederate. And 1,184 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 86,863 credits. And that was including the holiday ops bonus. And he also got 2,884 experience points as well as a holiday ops bonus on this one. But the question is, does that beat Angelina? He says, burn, baby, run. Yes, because that was the T20. And the answer is no, unfortunately not. If he'd hit 1 more tank, he might have actually got that Confederate medal, which would have given him the medal, and he would have beaten Angelina, because if you remember, Angelina got a 2nd class bruise at Confederate and 1,578. Talon got second class arsonist bruiser and 2,218. So he didn't get the medal here on this side, unless, of course, they do count this medal. If they did, then Talon would be on the lead. But if they don't count it, if it's a medal over here, a Battle Hero medal or a Epic medal, then obviously, and the Confederate medal is a Battle Hero medal. If you got it on that side, you didn't get it, then obviously it means that Talon would be the winner because he's got a higher win rate than Angelina. He did more actual damage, but he didn't get the Battle Hero medal. And it's up to really Angelina and Talon to decide. But I think under the rules, that doesn't count as a proper medal, a medal over here on this side, unless they say it does. And if they do say it does, then obviously he's the winner. And if Angelina says no, or if it has to be a Battle Hero or an Epic on this side of the count, excluding Counter Battery, because of course that is a proper medal on this side as well, then obviously it's Talon that wins. So I'll leave it up to them to decide, but by my counting, that shouldn't really count as a medal towards the win, whereas the Confederate definitely does, because of course that means that Angelina really did perform for her team, to do a lot of work for her team, whereas Talon benefited from the fact that he set fire to the engine and he just burned up that one tank. So Angelina spread her Arty love over every tank, well, that she hit, whereas Talon just spread Arty love on just one tank and it went up. So he benefited from one tank alone. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.